This is a video clip from episode 11 of the Average Joe Lawn Care Show with Jake the Lawn Kid. Jump into the segment that we've been doing for a while now. I meant to start it right after we were talking about the bullies in high school because that would have been a good segue. But we're going to jump into the segment called Keyboard Warriors. This is a segment dedicated to talking about some of the trollers that we all get as lawn care YouTubers or anybody in creating our YouTube content. You're going to get trollers of some kind. Jake had some interesting ones, and I'm actually kind of curious about like how old some of these people are that are trolling on a kid in high school. Like how mature do you have to be to do that? But anyway, Here's the first one.
Before you read them, can I give a little context? So all of these comments, by the way, are from one particular video that I made about 5 years ago now on the YouTube channel. It's called Reel Mower versus Rotary Mower. And if you look on my YouTube channel at all, this is the most popular video I've ever made. It's got 1 million views on it. However, it's also the worst video I've ever made. Keep in mind, I made it at the worst part in my... I made it at like the cringiest phase of my YouTube career, right? Like I was doing... Oh man, I couldn't talk to a camera. I mean, I guess I could, but I was a little silly in that video, and it was also around the time when reel mowing became popular. I think Connor Ward, before his channel became what it is today, and he started making videos. I think he even commented on that video 4 years ago to shed a little bit of light on some of the things I said in there, because what I said in that video was entirely, accurate about like reel versus rotary, but there were some things that were not addressed in that video, like the fact that you can get a gas or electric powered rotary mowers, reel mowers, because I didn't even know that was a thing until 2018 when everyone started talking about it, right? I'm a 14-year-old kid. What do I know, right? I was just a silly kid making silly videos, didn't really think much about it. So to any of you who've seen that video, I just want to say I'm sorry for wasting your time. And if you decided to subscribe, I appreciate you, because I am much more polished and professional and structured than I ever was in that video. It was so bad. But some people found it funny and got a lot of positive feedback off it. So it was cool. Anyway, Ben, go ahead and read them off.
Well, to your point, though, I've watched that video, and I have to be honest. When I was that age, first of all, I never would have stood in front of a camera to even attempt to make a video. And I definitely wouldn't have posted it on YouTube. So I give you huge props at that age to create content and do what you were doing, because you were a kid. Like, you were doing what you wanted to do. You were having fun.
I was a silly kid, man. Just having fun, right?
So here's the first one. This kid is probably excited when he looks outside and the grass is too tall. And then someone commented to that comment saying, he is a nerd.
That's right. I am a nerd. I'm a lawn nerd.
I think everyone here watching on the show and in the chat is a nerd. I mean, that's just part of it. So, the next one, I'm almost 40 years old. Never knew there was a debate between reel versus rotary. Since no one in their right mind is going to struggle with the pain in the ass a reel push mower offers, I'm pretty sure it's been decided. I read this one. I'm like, these are the people that don't have any idea, like, how far like reel mowers have come, and they don't know like the actual process of actually reel mowing. Because I'm not saying like manual reel mowers are easy to use compared to a gas, but if you're using it properly, it's really not that much of a pain in the butt. That's what made me think of that. Just somebody, and again, a 40-year-old dude dogging on a 14-year-old.
I've been called worse by better. Keep going.
The last one I picked, he gave me a plethora of them, but I just took 3 of them. He had plenty of them. We can keep talking about it too after this one. The last one's pretty short. Just loser. Like, really? You're gonna go onto a 14-year-old kid's video that's just trying to have fun and just call him a video, or call him a loser?
Plot twist. Loser became the winner.
That's right. Well, I didn't pick... There was some of your comments that I was like, man, because I sent you a message. I was like, people are just savages. Like one kid was like, oh, this kid probably gets bullied because he wears sunglasses that get tinted or whatever.
Yeah,
I was
tinted,
like,
right.
goodness, like that's that kid probably was the one calling people four eyes in high school and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, good on him, man. I hope he's doing
Yeah.
well. And you know what, wherever you are, man, I'm sure you need a hug. I'm all here for you.
Well, the other thing I wanted to I've been including in this because I had a person that was a supporter of mine since the beginning, and he said I challenge you to talk about the positive things and more the positive comments you get and those types of things. And I brought that up with my last show with Matt Martin, and I'm gonna bring it up to you, Jake. Is there anything that you can recall since starting your channel that, like, when you get positive comments, you're like, man, that, because I know I get more positive comments than negative, and I'm sure you do.
Hmm.
Is there some that stick out to
Oh
you that
yeah.
are just, like, man, that really just motivates me, and it makes me want to keep going and continuing to show my thank you for my audience.
Well, here's the thing with me. I don't like to play favorites, right? I just think the fact that you guys are out there and you see the value that I'm trying to bring you guys, that's just awesome and I appreciate it, right? Because at the end of the day, I never really sought out to build an audience. I started this just because I thought it was fascinating and fun to be able to teach people things. And it was something that I wanted to challenge myself to get better at. And the fact that you guys are out there writing all the positive comments and on top of that, even teaching me a thing or two, because that's what this is about, right? I don't know everything because one of the biggest problems with our generation, or my generation, I should say, is that people like to call us entitled know-it-alls, right? And I want to change that because I'm not a know-it-all by any nature. I'll tell you in a video. If I don't know crap about something, I'll tell you that. So the fact that you guys teach me a thing or two in the comments as I learn and continue to grow my reach, that's beyond awesome, and I appreciate your continued support to this day, even years ago. So to all of you guys who have been watching, I thank you.
Well, and to your point, like for me as well, like that's, I didn't start my channel in the hopes to get this huge gathering or audience, or I never intended to ever turn it into a business or anything like that. I was just having fun, and I still have fun, and that's why I started this thing,
That's
because
right.
it's fun. I don't necessarily have anything to teach people. I just learned a lot of things from people like you and Alan and Matt and John and many other people that have much more knowledge and experience than I do, and I've just learned just from uh, my own experiences and mistakes, and I also just wanted to make this stuff too because it's been a huge outlet for me in stressful times in my life and those types of things, and that's what I think a lot of the lawn care community is for a lot of people, is just a big outlet and stress reliever. So what you said is kind of encouraging as well just now about, like, you created it because it's fun, and I'm glad you're still having fun. It's not something that
Right.
you don't have fun doing anymore. Catch the Average Joe Lawn Care Show live on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Lawn Guardian YouTube channel. It's always fun interacting with the audience in the live chat during the show, so we hope to see you there. If you couldn't catch the live show, watch it recorded on the Lawn Guardian YouTube channel or listen to the audio version of it by searching Average Joe Lawn Care Show on podcast platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast.